Another sector that finds itself in the 18% tax bracket. The current rate for telecom is about 15%, but the finance minister did clarify that the exemptions, i.e. what they can offset by way of input tax credits, will bring the effective rate lower than the headline rate. So 15% is what it's currently taxed at under the GST regime. The headline number for the telecom sector is 18%. Joining us now is Rajan Mathews to discuss the impact of the GST on the telecom sector. Rajan, appreciate you joining us. I know that the COAI has expressed its disappointment on the headline 18% number.
Hello?
Rajan?
Yes.
Yes, I said...
while we support the GST initiative, we think it's a great move. When it comes to the 18% from the 15%, we think obviously it's going to increase the bottom line cost for consumers. So we had asked that given telecom as a essential service, that we were hoping it would come closer to a 12% and help with the digital propagation and program of the government. So that is where the disappointment is.
But, you know, Rajan, we just had the finance minister on the channel earlier today, and he specifically on telecom said that, look, you know, the 18% number is the headline number, but because you will be able to avail of input tax credits, the effective rate might be closer to 15% where you are currently at.
So I guess one has to determine the impact of the tax on the company as versus the impact of the tax on the consumer. While the company might get a benefit from the offsets from the, the 3%, the question is the 18% is to be borne by the consumer. So companies will have to decide how they're going to treat this 3% offset, whether that is going to somehow get fractured into the tariff number and then kind of offset. But if you look at the normal practice, you get the tariff. If the tariff is 300 rupees, and the 18% is applied on the 300 rupees. And so if the company wants to adjust the tariff, that might be a different issue.
But what is the realm, in your discussions and conversations with your members, Rajan, what's the sense that you get? Because when specifically asked about this sector, this was the statement that came in from the government. So do you believe that that is likely to be the road forward?
So I think what the finance minister is hinting at is that since the company is getting an offset, they are hoping that obviously that gets passed on to the consumer. So we'll have to wait to see how that is going to be reacted to by individual companies. I can't say anything about marketplace tariffs. However, whatever the ultimate tariff is, that 18% is going to have to be applied against that tariff number. We can't say, well, we'll collect only 15% from the consumer and then somehow say that we'll make up the 3%. That's not how it works.
No, you're right on that front, Rajan. But in terms of preparedness, in terms of readiness, one, of course, is the headline tariff number. But in terms of preparedness, how ready is the telecom industry today to make the move to GST and also to deal with the compliance that comes along with the GST?
We've highlighted three issues that we had asked for clarity. One is obviously the place of origin of the service. Depending on how the tax works. If, for example, you buy a top-up card or some such in Delhi and you use it in UP, where exactly will it get taxed? So that's one issue. The second issue is that our service areas, span multiple states. So, for example, in Delhi, you have three geographies. You have Delhi, you have UP, and you have Haryana. So the question is, when you have the split between the state and the central tax, how is that going to be handled? Are you going to see three line items on a person's bill? So that is a second issue. And the third issue we had asked for is central handling, central billing and reporting and settlement. Those are the three things, since we have a pan-India footprint. Those are the three main things we had asked the government to address, and we're waiting for clarification on that.
Yes, so are we. But Rajan, my final question, ready for July 1 rollout? Because that is the timeline.
Clearly, the operators have been working and they've been getting their back end, structured. There will be some MIS and, IT and programming issues that will have to be addressed. Of course, you're talking about billing, structuring, so we'll wait to see how that is. But the intention is that July 1 is a very aggressive date in terms of rolling out the service, but our operators are working full time to make sure